share with you some parts of the theory and the principles of Quran study beyond this, the universal ulum al-Quran, the sciences of the study of Quran that many people are familiar with, especially those of you that study tafsir. I'm not going to make this an academic topic, by the way.
I will not make it academic topic, by the way. Supposedly he's academic, supposed like he is a high scholar. You're right. What a joker you are. I will not make it. You see, when they speak to you like from above and you are like down, I will not make it academic because I know you are a bunch of goat who is listening. And the proof is what I will say. Because if those are listening are not a bunch of goats, they don't use their brain. How come nobody stands for him and says, are you stupid or what? This is the same guy in the same video where he says that Muhammad, he accepted Islam after the angel come to him and squeezed him. You remember? This is the same video. If you remember the moment, it was moment 23rd. He said the prophet, he became a Muslim. That means Muhammad, he was a pagan person all his life. And that can hurt the feeling of any Muslim, because this is destroy Islam. Muslim, they keep saying to us, Muhammad was Abrahamic. Muhammad was a believer. Muhammad, he followed Abraham. So why this guy is saying this? The
messenger believed in what was revealed to him. You know what's remarkable about that?
Yeah, tell us.
In the beginning of the surah, what are the first words? Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ.
No, hold on. I want to go back.
Jibreel first came.
Okay.
To Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam directly. Okay, bila hijab.
Allah spoke to Muhammad directly. Where?
He's telling him directly.
He's telling directly by giving him a delivery by a guy. I mean, have you ever heard of this directly? So somebody spoke to somebody, and that somebody spoke to somebody, and that means it's directly. True story.
The thing he tells him is that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. See, if you're talking to someone,
yeah.
If I talk to you, if you're, for example, a professor, I say you are sitting here. I don't say the professor is sitting here, because if I'm talking to you, I use the second person. I don't use the third person. But Allah is talking to the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. What does he say? آمن الرسول. لا لم يقل آمنت. آمنت يخاطبه مباشرة. أليس كذلك? He's talking to him directly. He didn't say you believed. He said the messenger believed.
Look at this. He didn't say to him you believe. He said the messenger believed. Okay, what happened? Explain to us more.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَهَذَا تَكْرِيمًا لِلنَّبِي عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ. Even in his presence, he speaks of him in the third person to honor him alayhi salatu wasalam.
Look at this.
The messenger is not just any messenger.
Absolutely.
The messenger believed.
I mean, come on. This is the messenger who used to be the most weak person in sexual intercourse. And then he invoked Allah, and Allah, he sent him a dish of shish kebab. He ate it, and he got the power of 40 men. I mean, there's no messenger like him. Have you ever heard of a messenger, he come with such a claim that he used to be the most weak person in sexual intercourse? And what is the solution? He prayed to Allah, and then Allah, he go to the kitchen, and then in the kitchen he made for him a shish kebab. He sent it to him in a dish. Jibreel, he gave him the dish. He knocked at the door. Hey Muhammad, I got something for you. Muhammad, he opened the dish. He ate the dish, and boing, boing. His holy penis is so powerful, became as powerful as 40 men. And by the way, I'm not going to ask the Muslims how they noticed that it's a power of 40 men. Like, did you bring competition and you have like 40 men having sex at the same time and Muhammad beat them all? And why 40 again? Is that Ali Baba and the 40 thief? Even when he gave him a dish, he stuck with the number 40. The power of 40 men. After eating a dish. The Muslim, they say, if Allah want to fix something, he say B is going to be. How come Allah in this time he is going to the kitchen making shish kebab? By the way, did he add the spice? And we can we trust the beef he sent us? Is it beef? Is it pork? Who in the world gonna believe that God, he sent a dish to somebody and that will make that body penis work? Oh, Muhammad said so. So when this guy, he say, no one like the Prophet, we agree. Continue, go ahead.
And Allah is letting him know that when Jibreel first came, alayhi salam, when Jibreel first came, even the messenger had to accept Islam. Like, you know, we say somebody converted to Islam, somebody reverted to Islam, somebody took Shahada.
Yeah.
Well, the Messenger ﷺ also had to, in a sense, become Muslim.
So he became a Muslim, so he was the Muslim. So the lies they say to us that Muhammad was Abrahamic all his life, Muhammad was following Abraham all his life, Muhammad was not a pagan all his life, is a lie. Here we go, you just heard it. Now he became a Muslim, because remember, the Muslim, they say Abraham was a Muslim. So if Muhammad was following Abraham, that's when he was a Muslim. But obviously he just said, no, he just became a Muslim. 40 years in age, he was not a Muslim. And even the Quran says that Muhammad was a lost person. If you remember, we have a Muslim, he called me, his name is Mustafa, I don't know if he's there. He said it clearly that yes, the Prophet, he was lost. A Muslim is saying to us, Muhammad Abadi, I feel sorry for your fans. My friend, feel sorry for the penis of your Prophet first. We have a Prophet who his penis was not functioning. We have a Prophet, he go to the bed and he imagined himself having sex. He never did. Do you feel sorry for such a Prophet who was bewitched according to you? Who is the one going to be sorry for who? Brothers and sisters, we have an amazing Prophet. He was bewitched. Brother, what was the impact of his bewitching on the Prophet? Brother, nothing. Only his penis, brother. Look, what? And his brain. What? And his tongue. What? And his imagination. What is left? And you are feeling sorry for our fans? What about you? Why you don't call me and tell me how you feel about this story? That your Prophet, he used to imagine himself having sex, but in fact, there's no women there. Read it. Aisha, she said, not me. The Prophet continued for such and such a period, imagining that he had boom boom, sexual intercourse with his wife. In fact, he did not. In fact, what? He did not. Where is Mr. Abadi? Do you feel sorry for your Prophet? Imagine you are a Prophet of Allah and you are Muhammad. And you tell your wife, hey wife, how's the business we did? She said to you, what? Come on, we know, like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you know, like, you know, like, what are you talking about? You did nothing. Then he go to the second wife. Hey, Hafsa, how is the boom boom, you know? What boom boom? You did not even touch me for the last month. He go to the third wife, the fifth wife, the sixth wife, the seventh wife, the eighth wife, the ninth wife, the 10th wife, the 11th wife, the 12th wife. Shall we continue to tomorrow? And he was what? Imagining. He was what? Imagining. Now here we have another issue here. As long Muhammad is imagining and is proven to be illusional, how we can trust him that he was seeing an angel and he was seeing a messenger of God giving him Quran? The guy is proven in their books that he is crazy. He cannot recognize what is reality and what is fiction. To the point, I mean, Muhammad is a person who have no witnesses even for his sex. This is your book, and this is Sahih Bukhari. And this is Aisha. Are you going to say Aisha is not being fair? So how we can trust that Muhammad he saw? No, this is not what a dream. This is not what a dream. This guy is awake. This is not in a dream, because imagining, you see, he is thinking that he did it. He's lost. His brain is gone. This is not about a guy who saw a dream. No, this is different. This is why they are saying to you he was bewitched. If you see a dream, that doesn't make you. You see, the Arab, they call anyone who loses his mind, they can't explain why he is saying things or doing things. They say he was bewitched. As simple as that. because physically he looked fine, and stupid things done happen to him from time to time, not all the time. You know, like he do crazy stuff from time to time. But sometimes you speak to him, he's normal. And this is the situation of Muhammad. Now, if we go back to the video, which we are playing for you, I want to show you what this person he said about the Quran. And I want the Muslim to listen carefully. Remember, the video supposedly is about explaining 2 verses in the Quran. And remember, the Quran says, as we showed you, that Allah, He made the Quran clear to you. In order to make it clear, He made it in Arabic. An hour, 2 hours and 7-minute videos to explain 2 verses. Can you believe it? 2 hours and 7 minutes lecturer to explain 2 verses. Do you see how he cleared the Quran? And did he clear it? No, because we die laughing at it. Listen carefully what he will say in the beginning. I will go and let us see when he starts.
Sheikh starts getting super high academic, then it's like he's releasing sleeping gas from his mouth, and you just Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, right? And so first thing you hear is Inna alhamdulillah, and the next thing you hear is Aqim salat. That's the only thing you hear. So
he's making fun of Islamic teachers. He says something, he ended because he explained nothing, and supposedly he is going to explain to us. Go ahead, mister. Yeah, stop making fun of the rest of the Muslims. He is the genius.
So we'll try not to do that, inshallah ta'ala. But anyway, one of the cool things I want to share with you is that one of the most fascinating studies in the Quran is actually how the surahs of the Quran are organized. And this is actually a number of different subjects together. The first subject is how are the surahs themselves organized. Fatiha is first, Baqarah is second, Ali Imran is third, etc., etc. Why are they in this order? Because from a Western academic standpoint, and by the way, the first time I studied Quran seriously, it was not from Muslims. It was from non-Muslims.
Take a note. The first time this person, he studied Quran seriously, it was not from Muslims. Muslims never study Quran seriously. Their study is a joke. He learned it from us, how to study Quran seriously. Now listen carefully what he learned.
And when they study the Quran, they don't say, Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. They begin, like they study any literature, they start with criticism. We start, when we study the book of Allah, we begin with hamd, we begin with praise. We begin with iman, that this is the best, you know, وَالرَّاسِخُونَ فِي الْعِلْمِ يَقُولُونَ آمَنَّا بِهِ كُلُّ مِنْ عِنْدِ رَبِّنَا. Okay, this is what we say. That's not what they say. They begin with criticism.
And the funny thing is, suppose he is a smart teacher, but then he read in Arabic, or he say sentence in Arabic, but he don't translate it. But all the audience are English-speaking people. I mean, do you see the stupidity? This is the lack of intellect. Because when you quote, when you say something in Arabic, and all your audience are English-speaking people, and you don't translate what you just said, how stupid is that? What's the point of saying that sentence? Because you want to show he's a scholar, he knew Arabic. It's a show time.
Criticism, skepticism. And so the first exposure, one of the first serious exposures I had to the Quran was actually criticism. And the first criticism was the Quran is unorganized. The surahs are in this random order, and the subject keeps going from one to the other, and even they call them chapters of the Quran, right? That's what they call it. But they don't call it surah, they call it a chapter. Even though a chapter and a surah are not the same thing at all.
Hold on. They call it a chapter, they don't call it a surah. Why your God, he did not name every surah by surah? Why your Quran doesn't say this is the surah of the cow, as long as you want them to use the word surah. Secondly, it's not a surah, it's a surah. Your prophet is copying the Aramaic. And he mentioned something very important. that those who study the Quran, right away they will find that the Quran is an organized book. Did you hear it, Muslims? And he agreed. And he will agree, and he will confirm that. There is a study made by some German historian. They come with very clear, many good evidence actually, that the Quran was not even in Arabic. This is why we see the word surah in the Quran, you know, exist. This is the Aramaic way of saying the word. If you ask a Muslim, what is surah mean? What does surah mean? Is it a chapter? They say yes. But the Quran never came as a chapter. The guy now, he will tell you how surah work. What surah? What does the word surah mean? He said that the Western, they call it chapter, they don't call it surah. And he will say to you that there is a difference between them. What is the difference? Listen carefully.
The serious exposures I had to the Quran was actually criticism. And the first criticism was the Quran is unorganized. The surahs are in this random order, and the subject keeps going from one to the other, and even they call them chapters of the Quran, right? That's what they call it. But they don't call it surah, they call it a chapter. Even though a chapter and a surah are not the same thing at all. They're not the same. I personally don't agree with the translation of surah as chapter. I don't. Because there's a certain standard in literature for a chapter. A chapter has logical points that are made in chronology. And if a chapter, like chapter 5, is going to repeat something from chapter 3, they won't do it the same way. They'll just say, refer back to chapter 3.
Did you hear it, Muslims? This is an organized, smart, intelligent book. And instead of repeating the same stupid thing, we say to you, go and open page number, etc., in chapter, etc. The Quran doesn't do that. And he agreed that the Quran is suffering from the flight of thoughts because a topic have nothing to do with the next topic. So how this can be a book from God? And now he's saying, I don't agree with the chapter because the chapter will make the Quran a perfect organized book. The Quran is not. He just said that.
That's what chapters do. They're built chronologically. The other thing about chapters is you cannot begin a book with chapter 12. You can't do it. You have to begin with chapter what? 1. And 1 is the first thing the author writes. Then the author writes 2. Then the author writes 3. Then the author writes 4. And even the student has to study chapter 1 first, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4.
See?
But when the Quran was revealed, the first surah revealed, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Where is that in the Quran? Is that in the beginning?
No.
That's all the way at the end.
Exactly. This is how a smart, intelligent being, he write a book. So why the Quran is messed up? The first revelation supposedly given to Muhammad is not the first in the book. And we just heard him saying, when an author he write a book, he start with the chapter 1. You don't go and read the chapter 50, which is the last chapter in the book. But this is what the Muslim did. Allah supposedly he gave Muhammad the chapter of Iqra, the one where Muhammad being squeezed by the guy, the cave. And by the way, the Muslims are not in total agreement about which the first one Muhammad received. They have the different stories about it. But this is the majority. They say that the first one Muhammad received is this chapter. And if we go to the Quran, we will find it, as he said, at the end of the Quran. So how something who is supposedly in the beginning of the Quran become at the end of the Quran? Read carefully.